I hate when people say anime is for kids. Anime is a medium, not a genre, and it can tell stories that cater to many different demographics. And therefore it stands that one of the most mature sex scenes I've ever witnessed is in an anime. Today we're going to talk about this scene from the legendary classic Neon Genesis Evangelion.
こっちが知りたいさ。
Evangelion is a mecha anime directed by Hideaki Anno and first aired in October of 1995. Although, I'm not sure if saying that Evangelion is a mecha anime is enough to explain what this series really is about. Yes, the background is a dystopian, post-apocalyptic Earth being constantly attacked by these beings called Shito, with the only weapons that work against them being children who have the ability to synchronize with a mecha robot called Evangelion, often simply referred to as Eva. This alone is a pretty classic mecha anime setup, but Evangelion is unique in that the themes explored are deeply psychological, with the final few episodes of the anime mimicking a psychedelic experience to hone in on the main theme, which is loneliness. The idea that in the end, none of us are capable of truly understanding one another. We are alone in the universe, and that's scary. And in the world of Evangelion, they come up with a solution to this problem. The Human Instrumentality Project allows all of the souls of mankind to merge into one being, hence finally resolving the loneliness that has plagued mankind since its birth. So yeah, this anime is trippy, to say the least, and can totally be nihilism triggering for some. So I advise you be in a relatively healthy state of mind before you watch this series. It's in this anime about innate human loneliness that there is one of the best sex scenes I've ever witnessed. The scene happens between Katsuragi Misato and Kaji Ryoji. We meet Misato in the very first episode of Evangelion. She's an officer of Nerufu, an organization that does many things to protect humankind from the threat of Shito, including developing and operating the Evangelion robots. She's shown to be a bit of a klutz. She arrives late to picking up Shinji and gets lost in the Nerufu office. But she is also a very capable and reliable worker and clearly has earned her spot in the organization, even receiving a promotion within the time of the anime. She is also empathetic and encourages two of the child pilots to live with her so that they can experience at least a semi-normal family life while carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. Her combination of capability, empathy, and also casualness makes her one of the most likable characters in this series. She cares a lot, does her job, then comes back home and unwinds with beer and takeout. If that's not a relatable 20-something or 30-something, I don't know what is. By episode 9, Misato is a fan favorite. It's hard not to like her. And this is when we are introduced to Kaji. Kaji comes to Japan as a chaperone for the German child prodigy and pilot of Eva Mark II, Asuka. He's smooth-talking, charming, and has an aura of nonchalance and casualness. And we learn that Kaji is Misato's ex-boyfriend. They attended the same university and dated throughout college before breaking up. When they reunite 8 years later, Kaji is still very interested in Misato. He tries to play footsies with her, makes suggestive comments, and at the end of the episode, he forcefully kisses her in the elevator. But it's clear that either Misato doesn't like him anymore or doesn't want to act on any feelings she may have. But as the series goes on, the sexual tension between the two become undeniable. And the anime teases us multiple times of Misato and Kaji potentially hooking up. You kind of root for these two to get together. Kaji is a likable character. He serves as a mentor to our protagonist, Shinji, imparting words of wisdom and acting as a father figure to the young boy. He has a secret hobby of gardening, and he has other, much more serious secrets as well. Kaji is a spy. He's not loyal to one organization. He's acting as a triple agent. But he does this not for monetary gain or for any malicious reason. He does it out of an urge to discover the truth. He's competent and capable, but also empathetic and casual. Sound like anyone else we know? He just seems like a good fit for our girl. So why did they break up to start with? We learn in episode 15 that Misato was the one to break up with Kaji.
ごめんね。あの時一方的に別れ話して、他に好きな人ができたって言ったのは、あれ、嘘。バレてた？い
や。
気づいたのよ。カジ君が私の父に似てるって。自分が 男に父親の姿を求めてたって。それに気づいた時、怖かった。どうしようもなく怖かった。
She then continues on a drunk rant in which she admits to Kaji that she feels that she was just using him back then as a stand-in father figure, and is using him even now as he helps her throw up and offers to carry her home. She feels like a child and she hates herself, and Kaji won't let her continue this self-deprecating rant and kisses her. This scary Freudian moment of seeing your parents reflected in your romantic partner is only something you see as an adult, and it's disturbing.
I may be like my father, but I am not like my mother.
You are! And you're like my father. You're also like my mother. You're all the bad things about all of these people.
These private and often uncomfortable observations we make are kept to ourselves, but Misato revealed these thoughts to Kaji. In an anime about loneliness and the inability for people to truly connect, this moment of Misato opening up is a big deal. And on the receiving end, Kaji accepts this information with no judgment, and honestly, he's more concerned to see Misato judge herself. The following day, Misato catches Kaji in a restricted area of Nerufu, revealing that she knows that he is a double agent. He doesn't seem to feel guilty about being a spy, but he does feel guilty lying to Misato. In turn, he shows her what Nerufu has been keeping a secret from her. So in episode 15, Kaji and Misato both share secrets with one another. Granted, neither of them intended on revealing these things to each other. Having a gun to your head and being super drunk cannot be categorized as scenarios in which you're giving information willingly. But these events trigger the two to continue to open up to one another, and it culminates in this scene. After Shinji comes out of a life or death situation, Misato is understandably relieved that the crisis has passed, and rather than accept Ritsuko's invitation to go out for drinks, she goes to see Kaji. We catch the two in bed having some pillow talk. Misato comments that Kaji really is just like her father, and that's kind of a weird and awkward thing to say to someone you just had sex with, but she says this line with a kind of quiet affection. Whether it's sexy or not, Misato is admitting her candid observations to Kaji, something which she originally could not admit to for over 8 years. She continues to show more of herself to Kaji, revealing that she only smokes after sex. Therefore, Kaji is the only one who knows that she smokes, essentially saying she hasn't had sex with anybody but him. Misato is really putting herself out there and being vulnerable, and she tries to get Kaji to talk, to reveal some secrets to her. She asks him about what he knows about the Human Instrumentality Project, and he asks if she's hooking up with him to get that information. And yet again, Misato decides to be honest. She admits that's partially the reason why. I mean, she's not playing any games here. But Kaji can't reveal these secrets so candidly. He's being tracked, he's being monitored. He can't just spill these secrets out loud. Misato continues to ask questions, but Kaji kisses her and stops her from continuing. And we hear Misato and Kaji hook up off screen. On screen, the visuals are focused on a half-drunk glass of beer, a torn-open condom wrapper, a pink lighter, and Misato's half-smoked cigarettes tinted on the end with her pink lipstick. Evangelion is not shy about sexualizing its female characters, including Misato, and yet in this sex scene, we barely see Misato and Kaji's bodies, forcing us to focus on their voices alone. It's up to our imagination to figure out what's physically going on, but one thing is for sure, we're listening to two people try to connect, physically but also mentally. Right before they start to make out, Misato's question was about the Human Instrumentality Project, a project that merges all the souls of mankind. And for Misato and Kaji, having sex is the closest attempt they can make as mortal, flesh-bound humans to recreate the effect of merging two souls. And I get it, maybe this is a bit too poetic and frou-frou. Does finding a soulmate relieve you from the problem of innate loneliness? some would argue that sex and romance are distractions to fill the void, not a cure for our loneliness. And we know that Misato partially feels this way. She doubts her own motivations for wanting to be with Kaji. But for us that don't live in the world of Evangelion, that won't be a part of any human instrumentality project, what else can we do? Except try to connect with others by being vulnerable, sharing intimate moments, and being as honest as possible. At the end of the scene, Kaji gives Misato a pill containing a microchip with all of the information he has gathered as a triple agent, trusting Misato with the secrets he's uncovered. Kaji has finally opened up to Misato, giving us hope that we are capable of finding at least one person that we can trust, even if it is only for a fleeting moment.